Ladies and gentlemen, if I could ask you to take your seats, please. While we're all getting settled, I'd just like to say thank you very much for coming out on this lovely Saturday afternoon. Welcome to the Bowen Heads Fine Music Society's performance of Peter and the Wolf, starring the Geelong Symphony Orchestra. I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our conductor for this afternoon and for this entire performance, the lovely Kim Dillon. This is the story of Peter and the Wolf. Each character in this story is represented by a different instrument in the orchestra. The bird, whose name is Sasha, is played by the flute, which plays very, very high. Sonia the duck is played by the oboe. Ivan the cat is played by a clarinet. The grandfather is played by the bassoon. And there is also a wolf, played by 3 French horns. Scary. Peter is represented by the strings in the orchestra. And the rifle shots of the hunters are represented by the timpani. And now, I'm taking you to deepest, darkest Russia. We are no longer in a seaside town in Australia. We are in the midst of the dark, dark woods, surrounded by tall, dark trees, where there are scary animals slinking around in the undergrowth. And at moments throughout the forest, you'll find little farmlets with little meadows around them and people living in them. And one of those people is Peter. Once upon a time, early one morning, Peter opened the gate and walked out into the green meadow. On a branch of a big tree sat a little bird, Peter's friend Sasha. "All is quiet," chirped the bird happily. Just then, Sonia the duck came waddling around. She was glad that Peter had not closed the gate and decided to take a nice swim in the deep pond in the meadow. Seeing the duck, Sasha flew down upon the grass and settled next to her and shrugged his shoulders. "What kind of bird are you if you can't fly?" Sasha replied, "What kind of bird are you if you can't swim?" They argued and argued, Sonia swimming in the pond and Sasha hopping along the shore. Suddenly, something caught Peter's attention. He noticed Ivan the cat crawling through the long grass. Ivan thought to himself, "That little bird is busy arguing. I'll just grab him." Stealthily, the cat crept towards the bird on his velvet paws. "Look out!" shouted Peter, and the bird immediately flew up into the tree. While the duck quacked angrily at the cat. From the middle of the pond. The cat walked around the tree and thought, "Is it worth climbing up that high? By the time I get there, the bird will have flown away." Just then, Grandfather came out. He was angry because Peter had gone out in the meadow. "It's a very dangerous place. If a wolf should come out of the forest, what would you do?" But Peter paid no attention to his grandfather. Boys like him are not afraid of wolves. But grandfather took Peter by the hand, he locked the gate and led him home. No sooner than Peter left the forest than a big grey wolf came into the meadow. In a twinkling, Ivan the cat climbed up the tree. Sonia the duck quacked, but in her excitement, she jumped out of the pond. But no matter how hard the duck tried to run, she couldn't escape the wolf. He was getting nearer and nearer, catching up to her. And then he got her, and with one gulp, swallowed her. And now, this is how things stood. Ivan the cat was sitting on one branch. The bird on the other. Not too close to the cat. And the wolf walked round and round the tree, looking up at them with greedy eyes. In the meantime, Peter stood behind the closed gate without the slightest fear, watching all that was going on. He ran home, got a strong rope, and he climbed up the big, high stone wall. One of the branches of the tree around which the wolf was walking stretched out over the wall. Grabbing hold of the branch, Peter climbed lightly over onto the tree. Peter said to the bird, "Fly down and circle around the wolf's head. Only take care that you don't get caught." The bird almost touched the wolf's head with his wings, while the wolf snapped angrily at him from this side and from that. How the bird did worry the wolf, and how the wolf wanted to catch him. But the bird was clever, and the wolf simply couldn't do anything about it. Peter made a lasso, and carefully letting it down, caught the wolf by the tail and pulled with all his might. Feeling himself caught, the wolf struggled wildly, trying to get free. Peter tied the other end of the rope to the tree. And the wolf's jumping only made the rope tighter and tighter. Just then, the hunters came out of the wood. Following the wolf's trail and shooting as they went. But Peter, sitting in the tree, said, "Don't shoot! Ivan and Sasha and I have already caught the wolf. Now help us take him to the zoo." And there. Just imagine the triumphant procession. Peter at the head. After Peter, the hunters leading the wolf. And winding up the procession, Grandfather and Ivan the cat. Grandfather shook his head disconsolately and discontentedly. Well, and if Peter hadn't caught the wolf, what then? Above them flew Sasha, chirping merrily. My, what brave fellows we are! And if you listen very, very carefully, you can hear Sonia the duck quacking inside the wolf, because the wolf, in his hurry, swallowed her alive. Ladies and gentlemen, a big hand for Kim Dillon, our conductor, and the Geelong Symphony Orchestra.